For the past 36 years, Mary and I have been the co-directors at the University of Santa Monica, where we have pioneered the subject and the practice of spiritual psychology, which is really all about learning how to live our lives from a soul-centered perspective.
And people often ask, well, what do you really mean by soul centered living? And at its essence, it's really waking up into the awareness of the love that you are, the love that is your essential nature, and then learning how to live your life from that place.
And that is so important because so many people on this planet these days are trying to find a loving this or a loving that, and they're not looking in the right place. They would get better results if they would look inside to find that place that is already there. It's in everybody. It's inherent in everybody. And what we are involved in is assisting people in learning how to come into that awareness inside of themselves and to quit looking for it out there.
Over the course of the years that we've been doing this work, we've developed principles and practices of spiritual psychology.
Lots of them.
Lots of them. And to me, perhaps most quintessential is the soul-centered basic skill of seeing the loving essence. And really what that means is learning how to look at yourself and at other people with the eyes of your heart, really centering yourself in your loving, centering yourself in the presence of your own love, and then seeing other people from that place. That skill is profound, it's transformational, it creates a quality of energy and experience of connection that is so beautiful and transformational.
And one of the hallmarks of USM is that we don't really work with concepts for intellectual knowledge. We experientialize everything. Because the only way that you really know something is that you experience it. Otherwise, it's a belief. If someone says, I believe something, they're telling you they don't know it for sure. So we experientialize everything because it's in that you know, I don't have to believe these lights are on. I can see that the lights are on. So if you would like a life-changing experience, here's something that you could do, and I'll bet you will notice that you're doing it. Take one day, just one day, and everywhere you go, be aware that no matter who you are looking at, what you are looking at is a sacred, loving being who is doing their very best in their life at this point in time. Because truthfully, if anybody really knew better, they would do better. Go around and look at people that way for an entire day, and then see if that doesn't change your life.
A second skill that we work with is heart-centered listening, and I love this skill because rather than being busy in my mind thinking about what I'm going to be saying next, it's like I'm seeing the loving essence and I'm listening from my heart as well. I'm listening to the person, I'm listening to what they're sharing with me, I'm listening for the deeper meaning that they're intending to communicate. And part of what this does, it leads to a communion of souls, of just a heart-to-heart connection and conversation. And imagine the difference that this can make in your relationship with your partner, with your children, with other family members, with colleagues, with people that you work with, can really transform your relationships.
Now here's the key of how you can experientialize this one. When you're having a conversation with someone, give no thought to what you want to respond. That's not your job. Your job is to do your best to understand what is this person trying to communicate to me. You have no thought about what you're going to say back to them. You have no agenda that you're just practicing truly understanding and communing with another being. You'll get that feeling if you simply listen to them that way. Many people tell us they've never had a conversation like that before. It's really quite a remarkable thing.
The third key really has to do with living with a learning orientation to life, recognizing that I'm a soul, I'm a divine being. I came here for some spiritual purpose. I may not be fully conscious of what that is, but if I can embrace a learning orientation to life, rather than feeling victimized by experiences, by other people, by my own disturbance within my own consciousness, I can really step back and reflect on what is the deeper intention and purpose of this experience? What is available for me to learn? And most essentially, to me, what we're learning is how to wake up, how to remember.
See, you can look at experiences in one of two ways. You can say, how I feel is a result of that experience. We call that I'm upset because. Or you can look at an experience and say, what can I learn from that? That's another one of these little keys that you start doing that, you are going to find your whole life will change. Because you'll forget about making people wrong. You'll just be focusing on, well, what can we build here? What can we make better? That's your orientation. It may not be the other person's, but that would be your orientation.
A real key here is letting go of judgment. Letting go of judgment of yourself, judgment of other people, judgment of the way the world is, and to move into a consciousness of greater acceptance. When we're in a consciousness of acceptance, we're in a place of greater peace. And the thing of it is, we can attempt to create change out of our disturbance, but we can also create change out of our loving, of wanting to be of service, to make a real difference.
In fact, you're going to be a lot more effective if you work to create change out of a place of peace inside, as opposed to out of a place of againstness. Because when you operate from againstness, and we certainly see a lot of that going on the planet today, all that you will wind up with is an argument or a fight with somebody. It's only when two people will come together from that place of peace inside of themselves, recognizing they simply have different points of view. And how can we work together so that we can work out some kind of a compromise? That's real peace.
One of the other things I want to emphasize is that our approach is not one of spiritual bypass. It's really one of doing the deep inner work. And because we are human, we will experience our own disturbance, our own reactivity, our own judgmental perspective on things. One of the principles of spiritual psychology that to me applies directly is that healing is the application of loving to the places inside that hurt. And so when we judge, usually it's because we have some misbelief, some misunderstanding, some deeper hurt or disturbance emotionally within our own consciousness. And we can learn to access the love that we are inside ourselves. We are multidimensional in consciousness, and we can bring that love and that compassion to the places inside that experience judgment, that experience emotional disturbance and upset. Life is not about self-improvement. It's like there's nothing inherently wrong with us. We are souls having a human experience. Our nature is loving, it's wisdom, it's creativity and joy, it's aliveness, vitality, beauty. And as we...
Humor, that's my favorite.
Humor, yes. So as we awaken, as we come into greater awareness that we are the presence of love, we gain access to this incredible potentiality that resides within each one of us. And then we have the opportunity to share it.
That's the only thing that ever changes anything, because running around trying to change things out there, I'm sorry, it's not going to really do it. If you want to create change in the world, and I think it was Gandhi who first said that, be the change you want to see in the world. People don't realize that when they do that, when they can do that, their whole, I'll call it vibrational frequency of their essence goes out, and it is a healing energy in and of itself. You become a peace bringer wherever you walk, wherever you go. It just goes with you, and you'll find people turning to look at you, and you won't know why, but they're just picking up on the peace that you have realized to see with eyes that see really, real eyes within yourself.
I think the one thing I would want to say is the natural byproduct of waking up and moving into the awareness of yourself is, as the presence of love, is there's a natural inclination to be of service, to assist others, and to participate in good works.
So we wish you a soul-centered life.